All right, so everyone's mad about Tim Tebow again because he officially signed his deal a couple of days ago. Was it a signing that happened because Tim Tebow happened to know Urban Meyer? Absolutely. Of course it was a signing because of connections. I don't think it takes much logic to figure that out. However, as much as we would love for the world and for baseball, I'm watching a baseball game, I'm sorry for that. I'm watching Yankees White Sox right now. As much as we would like to think the NFL is a meritocracy where everyone gets their jobs because of their credentials and they've earned it. It doesn't work that way. Look at some of the coaching staffs. Their sons or their son-in-laws are on the coaching staffs. They probably shouldn't be there. So, the world for the most part, it's not a meritocracy. I mean, I know people who slacked in college, slacked in classes, but they got internships because their aunt worked there or because they had some kind of connection there. Their uncle was in the management or something like that. So I know people who got jobs and internships because of who they knew. I can't get a job to save my life. I graduated with 3.9 GPA out of Clemson. So the world is not always a meritocracy. It just doesn't work that way. And I think we have to understand that. And it's never worked that way in the NFL for the most part. You always see people getting opportunities because of who they know or because of their ability to sell tickets, which is something Tebow does masterfully, even if he doesn't have to try to do it. So I understand when people are upset because obviously this is a connection signing. But, come on. It's not like it's the first one in NFL history. Let's not act like this is something new. Second, there's no guarantee he's going to make the NFL roster. He signed, I believe, for the minimum. I think it's $920,000, I believe, is the salary that he's set to make. I think they're up to 90-man rosters right now, I'm pretty sure. And you have to cut that down. They're almost cutting in half when we get to the actual active rosters. So we're assuming in a situation, if you're going to be mad, we're assuming Tebow is going to survive that, which I think there's no guarantee. Or are you just mad because you're saying, oh, it's taking away an opportunity from someone else who could be like a legitimate tight end who's actually played tight end before in college, working his way up and trying to get an opportunity in the NFL. If you are even a remotely good tight end, you will find a spot on one of the 32 NFL rosters when they're expanded to 90 players during the offseason. If you are remotely good, you will find an opportunity there. There are 31 other teams in the NFL. If you are not definitively better than Tim Tebow at tight end, maybe you shouldn't be trying to play in the NFL. And I'm guessing most college tight ends who have actually had experience in the role would be better than Tim Tebow. Thaddeus Moss, a guy who came out of LSU, just does not have the great speed or mobility that his dad does. Thaddeus Moss is a better tight end than Tim Tebow by far. And Thaddeus Moss, I don't think, has been able to stay on an NFL roster. So that's kind of my take on it, is that if you are legitimately a good player who has a chance to make it in the NFL, has a legit chance to stick around on an active roster, you will find a role on one of the other 31 NFL teams, even if Jacksonville won't play by the normal rules in terms of signing the best players available. So realistically, is he taking away an opportunity from someone else? No, because there are 31 other opportunities, if not more, on other teams. So I don't really view that as a valid point either. You can always say, oh, well, someone's getting screwed out of a role anyways. Yeah, but the person being screwed out of the role or an opportunity there to make an active roster, if they're that bad, to the point that no one else will sign them, none of the other teams are going to bring them in, and they're not definitively better than Tim Tebow, well, they probably definitively are, but the fact that they're not recognized as being this guy who would be so much of an upgrade over Tim Tebow, but a reasonable roster to actually bring them in, a reasonable organization to actually sign them, then chances are they're not going to make it in the NFL to begin with. So it's really not much of an opportunity lost because they would have no chance. Now, I understand that's a little bit harsh. I do totally understand that. But I also think it's reasonable to look at it that way and say, they're not losing a lot, technically, by bringing in Tebow. And in fact, I'd argue that Jacksonville, by doing this, they've gotten a lot of publicity. They're being talked about on all the morning shows, on all the different networks, Fox, ESPN, all those ones, because they need some kind of daily news, especially out of the NFL, because the NFL drives ratings. And Jacksonville's front and center, not for Trevor Lawrence, not for Travis Etienne, but for Tim Tebow. And if you look at, I saw a screenshot that was very funny, of course, of Jacksonville's site where the jerseys are Lawrence, Etienne, and Tim Tebow are the three in the promotion. But also, you look at, I believe Adam Schefter tweeted this out yesterday. Look at NFL.com's website, or NFLshop.com, I believe. And Tebow had several of the highest selling jerseys, or some of the highest selling merchandise was all Tim Tebow stuff. The man has a pull like no one else in football. Maybe Tom Brady. When Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay, we obviously saw that. But relatively other players who have been playing for much longer than him, they don't even come close to driving the merchandising sales that Tim Tebow does. And, obviously signing with a team based in Florida where he played college football, there's going to be a huge draw there. So maybe he stays on the roster and gets cut in the fall. So he's just there in the summer. So what? The Jaguars have already made thousands of dollars off of Tim Tebow overnight. That's a huge financial win for the organization. I know you're saying, oh, well, the organization is worth billions of dollars. What do they care about a couple $1,000? What do they care about if they make $10,000 off Tim Tebow in the summer? Dude, it's a business. This is how it works. If you can go out and just say, one roster spot for 3 or 4 months, and we will make $10,000 in jersey sales. Done deal. Instantly. Any organization would take that. Anyone with a brain would take that because it makes sense financially to make that decision. Because again, you're not locking in a lot of money to Tim Tebow, even though the salary almost $1 million. But you're not committing a huge chunk of anything to Tim Tebow. Financially, that's not a big deal. You sign plenty of guys to veteran minimums. And the reality is, it's a business. You run it based on how you can sell merchandise, how do you become more popular, how do you put your name out there, how do you get your branding to be more recognizable. And by adding Tim Tebow, guess what? You just gained a lot of fans, for at least the summer. And you're going to have a lot more eyes looking at you now. I guarantee you there's going to be even more media coverage now than this, than just adding Lawrence would have brought, which already added a new level to their stature in the NFL. One thing I don't buy, though, is the whole idea that bringing in Tim Tebow is going to keep heat off of Trevor Lawrence. Because I saw some people are saying bringing in Tim Tebow means that Trevor Lawrence now won't have as many cameras pointed his way, so he'll be all right. He'll be kind of kept, not necessarily in the background, but he won't have to deal with all the extra media pressure. It's Jacksonville, man. It's not New York. This isn't Zach Wilson, New York. Calm down. All right? I mean, it's different here. It's not even New England. It's not even Mac Jones. So I don't understand why they're saying, Trevor Lawrence needs to be protected. No, he doesn't. Dude, this guy was in the top quarterback in the nation for 2 years, if not more. Or been thought of as a guy who's up there in the upper echelon of college quarterbacks. Viewed as a future top 3 pick since basically his freshman year. The man's dealt with the media coverage. He's won a national championship. He's been there too. He's been in the college football playoff every year he's at Clemson. So I don't think the idea of, you're bringing in Tim Tebow to keep Trevor Lawrence from facing all the extra media pressure. That's so stupid. Trevor Lawrence has faced all the extra media pressure already. And I understand the NFL is a different beast than college football, but have you seen college football fans? College football fans are the biggest cult in the world. I swear. I mean, really. I mean, the fans in college football, they are so insane, even on a different level than pro sports fans here in America. Maybe soccer fans abroad are close if you have local clubs, but college football in America is unrivaled in the way the fandom works. So Trevor Lawrence will be fine. I don't think that this whole bring in Tim Tebow to help Lawrence out with the media, it's not how it works, man. It's not like they're going to be in the quarterback room together. They're going to be in different meeting rooms during the offseason. So, yeah, I don't think that explanation works, really. I don't think it makes a lot of sense because Lawrence has faced a lot of media pressure already. And honestly, Tebow being older and being who Tim Tebow is, has faced more throughout his career and his time in various sports, whether it be with the Mets or with the Jets or even with the Patriots when he was with the Patriots briefly. But, I just don't think that's a relevant argument. So I'm just giving a couple takes here on my whole Tebow situation. I think that, one, he's not really stealing a spot from some guy because it's a huge roster in the offseason. And, again, if you're that good, you'll find another role in one of the other 31 rosters in the NFL. 2, in terms of just getting eyes on your team and selling merchandise, fantastic move. So for a business standpoint, it makes sense to do this. Even though I don't think that was Urban Meyer's reasoning for making that move, for signing Tim Tebow, but it does make sense in terms of what you're able to do. Just look how the jersey sales responded. And 3, I don't believe this move affects Trevor Lawrence at all. I don't believe this is motivated in any way by what Trevor Lawrence is going through, what he might go through in terms of having to deal with the media as the first overall pick and during his rookie season. I don't believe that factored in whatsoever. I don't believe it will factor in moving forward. So those are just some of my general takeaways here from the whole Tim Tebow situation. This probably didn't need to be 10 minutes. It probably could have been 5 minutes, but I just wanted to kind of talk through. I'm able to do a little bit more longer videos now because I figured out a new way to get my videos on YouTube without overheating my computer and needing to stuff it in the freezer. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you liked anything you heard today. I'll be talking not just about Tim Tebow, I promise you. I'll be talking a lot more about the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. I am a Steelers fan. There will be a lot more Steelers content on this channel. I promise you that. There will also be a lot of basketball content coming out here in the next couple of days as the NBA playoffs start. So you can look forward to that as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.